Hey, what's going on, everybody? So obviously, welcome back to That Track channel. We are trying something out very, very different. For the first time ever, we're going to do a podcast. So kicking things off, I got to say huge thank you to a couple of our sponsors that are on board for the year. We got Strange Engineering and we've got Rossler Transmission. So if you're in the market for a transmission, reach out to our boys Rossler. And if you need any brakes, suspension components, rear ends, center sections, anything like that, reach out to our friends over at Strange Engineering. But today, we are going to be chatting with none other than Street Outlaw legend, Scott Scooter Taylor. Scott, how you doing today, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing excellent. Well, not really. It's actually freezing here in Canada. It's negative temps. It's not fun, but it is what it is.
Move on down here to the SIP.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But before we jump into this podcast today, I got to say a huge congratulations on your most recent small tire win. I believe you were just hanging out with the Outlaw Syndicate crowd and picked up a $20,000 win. What was the field like out there? Did you have to go through a big field to get that 20K?
Man, I'll tell you, I was looking around and I was starting to get a bit nervous because some of the cars were on radials. And Let me tell you, the track was super good. And look, I saw when Mike was pulling me into the beams, I had to wait on him. I saw him reach down and grab the tips of his shoes and pull himself off the racetrack. And I'm looking over at a car with a big cubic inch motor, with radials. I said, I could be in trouble right here, but it worked its way out. I had to go get him. The guy was out front at the 330. I'm telling you, we laid down some really good 330 numbers, and this cat was leading me at the 330. So competition was high. There wasn't a ton of cars. I was disappointed at the car count, but the cars were there. They meant business. Let me tell you, they brought their A game.
Absolutely. For $20,000, you expect the who's who to show up. Now, the other thing, too, is that Outlaw Syndicate, that was the first ever race for that series. So, it might just take a little bit of time, for word to travel a little bit to get it out there. I mean, 20K payouts, no joke whatsoever. And I'm sure you were happy to partake in the first one.
Absolutely. I think a lot of racing happens in Florida in the winter. But my personal opinion is, I think that everybody's been back and forth to Florida so much over the last few months. I think everybody just burnt out on traveling. The next race for that series is going to be Rainer Motorsports Park in Georgia. So I think it's a little more central. I think it's going to be a full field. I'm expecting to see 16 plus cars at the next race fighting for that 20 grand.
That's amazing. We're happy to see Murder Nova and Ryan Martin and all those guys. Carson as well, obviously running this series. I believe it's an 8-race series, so they're going to be racing all over the place. And we look forward to seeing more coming out from them as the time goes on here. But aside from that, Scott, I want to backtrack a little bit. I want to talk to you about you, Scott Taylor, the Street Outlaw. So if you don't mind, Scott, I would love to go back down history here, back down the lane here, and take us for a quick blast through the past. I'm sure it's a bit of a blur, but can you tell us, how did it all begin for you getting on the Street Outlaw show back in the day, and what was that like?
You're throwing it way back.
I'm trying, man. I'm sorry.
So I got a phone call, asking us if we wanted to race on the show, and guess what I had done just before that phone call? About a week before that, I had sold everything. I go through phases. I'm tired of this. Let me sell this. I'm going to get something different. Well, anyway, we had just started a new business. And anyway, I'd sold everything. And they called and said, hey, in 7 days, we're going to be racing in Columbia, Mississippi on the street. Would you like to be part of it? I said, absolutely. I hang up the phone. And here I'm sitting there thinking, I don't have a car. I don't have a motor. I don't have a transmission. I don't have anything. So 7 days, we put together John Doe. And that's sort of where the John Doe name came from, is we made the very first pass on a street-like surface. And we were at the back end of Hope City Dragway. And this thing wheelied for 300 foot on the first pass. And I was like, they're never going to see us coming. It's going to be like a John Doe. They ain't going to know what hit them,
Right.
So that's where the name come from. But after that, man, it just took off. Kai Kelly did a great job, and he opened the door for us. I had some good friends, Thomas Mangeli, that sort of put our name in the hat. And I've known Kai for a little while. Heck, Kai bought as far as I know, he bought his first trailer from me. So he done a great job with what he was working with. He went over there and kicked butt, and it opened up a door for all of us. And man, 12 years of running wild every single weekend all across the country. it is sort of a blur, like you say, because it is. I can't even imagine. Just hard to fathom how many places we've been in the last 12, 14 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the show evolved as time went on, obviously from racing on the streets to then obviously bringing that presence to the track, running an NPK. And like a lot of people, you always heard chat out there like, oh, well, they're not that fast, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I'm assuming you could probably attest for firsthand how difficult that field, whenever you guys did go big tire and go to NPK, how insanely tough it was to even try to pull off a victory.
Oh, it was tough, man. I worked for years trying to get that first big win. We won on Friday night, and Friday night was always like, I almost called it like a warm up session. We had Friday night, whether it was team attack or whatever. It wasn't the main event. It's always big money, but it was never the main event. Saturday was the main event. That was the show. That's what people came to watch, and it took me 7 seasons before I won a main event. And then once we pulled off that first one, we picked up another one a couple weeks later. And then when we started the next year, we picked up a couple again. But getting that first one was super, super hard. The competition level is way harder than what anybody ever thought it was. And I think by us moving over to Pro Mod and going to race, with the regular competition, the regular field where it's open for everybody, I think that sort of let everybody know how fast our cars was running. One thing I am excited about, I know you told me not to bring this up just yet, but we're going to be showing our times very soon. We'll talk about where later, but we're going to be showing our times very soon on big tires, steel roofs, steel quarters, and I think that'll sort of show everybody what we were running, because that's what I'm going to call NPK trim.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some of those times before, but I'm sure the rest of the world would like to see them as well. But I got to say, as you said, you had such a tremendous run and a tremendous career hanging out and playing the TV superstar, being on Street Outlaws and stuff like that. And there's no denying it. The show had put such a massive spotlight on the sport of drag racing, and we all have to be thankful for that today as it is. If we live, breathe, eat, sleep drag racing, we have to be thankful for Street Outlaws for doing what they did to bring it to television and obviously let the world see it. Now, speaking of the world, this show also let you travel the world. You ended up going to other countries as well, not just USA. You ended up in my home country of Canada. But before that, you were also in Australia. Could you tell us what those experiences were like, traveling around the globe to go drag racing?
Man, I don't even know. It's so hard to explain what we went through to get to those places. Like I had to drive to California to put the car in a container with all my tools. And, I put my whole life savings in a box and shipped it to another country. That's tough. Like I didn't know if I'd ever see all my tools again. I don't have 5 sets of tools. I had 1 set of tools at the time, and I shipped every one of them to Australia, and with all my spare parts and my whole program. I shipped my whole program to Australia. And when we opened that box up, well, first off, the flight was absolutely horrible. I had the very back seat on the plane up against the bathroom for almost 17 hours on one leg of the flight. We were in the air for like 24 hours total between all the flights. So it was absolutely brutal. But when they set that container down at the racetrack and opened up the door and nothing had moved 1 inch, I was a happy guy. But Australia, we met some great people. We've had some friends of ours visit from over there. They came here and saw us. So we made lifelong friends in Australia. I talk to several guys over there all the time. But absolutely amazing. Words can't express what we did and saw and the times we spent, and Lizzie comes to mind. We had such a good time hanging out with the whole team. And that's some of my very last memories of Lizzie being, healthy.
Right.
So it's memories we'll never forget.
Right. And then you got to check out Canada. You got to check out the Rocky Mountains, and you got to see a little bit of the land. I believe you did some whitewater rafting and stuff when you were up there. What was Canada like for you?
So Kayla Morton, so they had like 3 different levels of rafting, right? I was like, I want the one where you just pretty much like go tubing, where you just hang out, like have fun. And then we was agreeing on the middle one, whatever it was called. We agreed on that one. And then, because we had our kids with us at the time, they were probably 13. And then Kayla's like, hey, if we're going to live, you only live once. Let's do the extreme. And I'm like, I don't know. I got the kids with me. Anyways, Kayla talked us into the extreme. I am telling you, we almost died. It was wild. I had to pull one of my kids back in the raft. Like, when they say extreme, it is extreme. Like, it was wild, but good times with Boosted and Kayla and the whole team that went over there. We did well. I think we only lost one. John Doe only lost one time the whole time in Canada. Lost 0 times in Australia. So we had a good time over there racing.
Absolutely. For everyone that's watching, if you guys don't know, me and Scott are actual homies in real life. Like he's the number one guy that's going on my podcast right now, So like we've known each other a minute or two. And I remember when he went to Canada, he was so mad. The first stop they went to was in Edmonton, Alberta. And he shoots me a message. He goes, why the heck didn't you tell me they would have air conditioning in the house?
Yeah.
They're in the middle of a heat wave in Edmonton, Alberta, which is unheard of as it is. And he checked into an Airbnb with no air conditioning. He was all mad at me. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. My house has air conditioning.
Look, the house was like a freaking penthouse. I mean, I'm talking about it was a 10 out of 10 and didn't have an AC. Like, I didn't believe it. I went outside the house looking for the unit. I'm like, maybe there's a different way to turn it on, but it just said fan. I was like, it had no cool. The AC was the exterior unit was gone.
I'm sorry about that, but at least you lived to talk about it. You're here today, so you're okay.
I got to sleep about 2 a.m. every morning with the fan on and the windows open.
Sorry about that, but anyways, okay. So Street Outlaws, you had a huge, massive career, a big run with the show. You did all the street stuff. You did all the MPK stuff. If you had to highlight a couple top moments from your big career over 12 years with Street Outlaws, what would be your couple of takeaways as like your top moments from being a superstar on Street Outlaws?
That's tough, I mean, obviously the first big win, that was huge. I always told everybody the second big win was the most important to me. The first one was absolute luck. The car was running terrible. At the time we thought it was a transmission failure. I had pulled the transmission apart a couple times during the rounds, but it ended up being a bearing in the converter. But long story short, every round it slowed down and we still won the race. I even told my whole crew, I said, I know we're going into the finals. We're going into the finals against Robin Roberts. And I said, I know y'all are excited, but don't bet on it. I said, I don't think we can win this race. I said, I think we're going to be a 10th off the pace. That's how bad the car was slowing up. And sure enough, I run a 10th slow, but I had him by over a 10th on the tree. He missed the tree, and I nailed the tree, and we picked up a win in the finals. But I didn't feel like we earned it. And, I mean, we worked hard. We went through the motions. We did it. We won the race, but I didn't feel like we were the fastest car on the property. Now, at the Rock, that was the most memorable moment for me because we flat out outrun every car on the property. And that's when it felt good to know that we had the fastest car there. That's what I'd been looking for. I never wanted a freebie. I never wanted an easy race. I didn't want to buy. I didn't want anything. When I won the first race, I wanted it to be like Rockingham. It was the second race we won, but that's how you're supposed to win a drag race is go through the entire field car by car.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And now I've obviously had the privilege of getting to hang out and see a lot of races and was behind the scenes for a lot. And I got to say one of my standouts of watching you do your thing was Bowling Green when you brought John Doe small tire $100,000 race just last year, actually. That was pretty amazing too. Running, I think it was supposed to initially be like a 64 car field, but for whatever reason, there was a lot of dropouts, this, that, whatever. I think it would end up being like a 36 car field or something like that. Yep. And you didn't have an easy time at all. Like, I'm pretty sure you didn't even have a bye, did you? Did you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think you ran every single round, went the whole distance with John Doe, and that was pretty amazing to watch you take that big, massive victory in small tire.
What's funny about that one is I wanted to switch Goldie over for smalls because I knew Goldie would be tremendously a better car. It just is the way we build it, and it's the latest stuff. But I didn't want to undo the big tire setup to go small tire. So I said, well, I'll bring John Doe. And then I got to thinking about it. I said, John Doe is just going to be a class filler. John Doe's old. It's not built to run with these new cars. And I said, I don't think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go support the race, but I don't think I'm going to bring a car. And then I went and tested John Doe. That was the first race with the Pro Line in it.
Right.
We'd been running the Brad stuff. And let me tell you, John Doe liked the Proline stuff. It liked the bigger blower. It liked everything. And next thing I know, I was ripping off some personal best in the middle of the heat. And I said, I'm going to bring it. And then next thing you know, we're gaining confidence every round. It's like, oh, I think we got what it takes to go the distance. And the car wasn't that fast. It was just fast enough in the heat to do its thing.
Right.
Goldie is like several tenths faster than John Doe has ever been. But it was just right time, right moment, right track, right temperature to be a beast.
Yeah. And I mean, and from there, like John Doe's pretty much been retired on that big win, and you get to just, keep John in the corner for now. You're undefeated over there. Just hang out over there kind of thing. It's a good story.
Yep, for sure. I think we went to one more race after that, Gulfport. We picked up a win down there in the 28-inch tire class, but it's definitely done its job. There's no reason for it to go back out and run small tire at the moment. We're probably going to run some more little gangster stuff with it. I have a friend of mine, Michael Scott, driving it, and we're going to try to make it the best we can be in 530 class and let him drive it. I think he's really going to enjoy that class.
Right. So if you're talking about running that little gangsters or the 530 class, what kind of power plant are you putting back into the car, or what has been put back into it since?
So we put a 630 naturally aspirated. It run a little slow the first time out. So with the gearing and stuff for the Hemi, it only went like 548. So we just changed the gear from like a 370 to a 456. I feel like it's going to run 520s or so next time out, just naturally aspirated. So I think it's going to be a super friendly piece to where we can just put fuel in it, drive it at starting line, drive it back, and just make laps in it. It should be very racer friendly.
Right. So I wanted to ask you, Scott, kind of wrapping up that whole segment about the Street Outlaws deal and the big career that you've had with them. Now that chapter of your life is closed, do you find you're still racing as much as you were with the show? Do you miss all the crazy travel? How's life adapting outside the show?
At first it's a bittersweet. Like, so near the end, like you're 10, you're 11, you're 12, you're like, am I going to do it this year? And of course I am. I'm not a quitter. So if they were racing this year or next year, the year after, I would follow it to the bitter end. We were around almost from the start. Like after year one, we were there. Obviously we were started with the Street Outlaws New Orleans is when they first brought us on. And from the moment I had the opportunity to race, we never looked back until it ended. I only missed one event in 12 years. The week my mother was real sick in the hospital, I missed that race. But outside of that, we didn't miss an event. So 12 years, if they said we had a race somewhere, that's where I was at. But the bittersweet of it is, and I was ready for a break. And no, we're not racing as much. I'm going to say we cut it in half, which is fantastic for me. It's fantastic for my family, my business, our businesses. It's just so busy at home that we needed to cut it in half. And I'm excited about that part of it, because now when there's 2 weeks between racing, I look forward to going. When it's back to back to back, you catch yourself not wanting to look. You don't look forward to it anymore because there's no time to look forward to it. You're going through the motions just over and over. But now, like, our next race coming up, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I'm ready to go right now.
No, I totally get that. And a lot of people don't understand what that schedule was like for a lot of you guys, running back to back to back, and from the south side of the country to the north side of the country to the east side of the country to the west side of the country. And you're just putting miles on it everywhere you go. And it's set it all up, tear it all down, set it all up, tear it all down. It's a traveling circus, really, right? So it's
absolutely
definitely a lot.
Going back, one of my favorite moments, I hate to go back, but we wrecked at Bowling Green season 1, and I didn't know if I was going to make the next race, because not only was the next race like a week or two away, it was in Tucson, Arizona.
Right.
And so we get the car together. We didn't get to test it, nothing. I put it all back together. We wrecked it pretty good. We had to front clip it. We had a transmission lock up, and we wrecked the car. But I got over there, and we made some rounds, and Jerry Bird beat me. His car was running really good at the time. Jerry beat me, but when he beat me, he come through the finish line upside down, and I was looking at him, sort of drove up under him, and it was bad. It was really bad. Well, I put it in the trailer. I was nervous wreck because I just wrecked the week before. I almost got T-boned then. So I had the car halfway in the trailer, and they came down and said, hey, we're going to do this street race on the big end of the racetrack. I said, look, I almost died tonight. Jerry almost killed me. I said, I just don't feel it tonight. I said, sometimes it would have been the first time ever that I didn't race when I was supposed to at that time. And I said, I'm just putting the car up. I said, I don't feel comfortable. And Sam told me, he said, look, he said, just don't do anything that's not comfortable. Just go down there and race. If you feel it, do it. If you don't feel it, let off. Like if it gets crazy, just let off. He's like, don't force it, but just come be part of it. And I said, okay. So I go down there. We're racing on a bare surface. Chuck is banging the light. I forget who I drew first round, but anyway, he rolls back, bangs the light. I let go of the button. It rolls out about 30 feet. I'd put a snail tune-up in this thing. I'm talking about nothing. It rolls out about 30 feet and spins. I hop off the throttle, and guess what? I look over. Nobody's there. Nobody's home at all. So I ease back on the throttle, pick up round one win. Anyway, rinse and repeat. Next thing you know, I'm in the finals. I just back to back to back. I'm in the finals of this thing with my homeboy, Mike Murillo, and we split $35,000 in the finals.
Wow.
And I wasn't even going to race that day. So that's one of my funnest times for sure.
Yeah, definitely entering a race you didn't even want to be a part of and then taking it to the finals to get a big payday.
Yeah, for sure. I still got the flashlight somewhere. I had to find it, but they gave me the flashlight. And I think it was Ryan Martin's, but they gave me the flashlight. Ryan had gave it to him for the race. Chuck signed it and gave it to me for the trophy. Ryan's going to be calling me looking for that flashlight.
Yeah, probably. That's pretty awesome, Scott. All right. So obviously with the Street Outlaw career, we saw John Doe, we saw Track Doe. And as things got wrapped up here, you actually started to get a little bit more involved with pro mod racing. So you ended up creating a car called Cheeto, which was your pro mod. And over the last couple of years now, you've been participating with the Drag Illustrated Winter Series. You're doing some pro mod racing, but I do want to ask a question. Are you still enjoying the pro mod racing, or do you want to be more focused on like the big steel roof and quarter and small tire stuff more? And the only reason I'm asking this is because the last outing at Winter Series, we didn't see the pro mod. We only saw Lil Goldie. So I'm just curious what happened there. And if you could talk a little bit about that.
So I really love the pro mod class, but it's honestly a little bit above my budget. I can go race it and I can go to the events, but to race that class and to win, you need to test. And I just don't have the funds to beat it up like I need to feel like I could win those races. Do I feel like I can go qualify and be competitive? I do, but I don't want to be a class filler in anything. And I felt like running two cars was too much. And I just looked at both cars and I said, which one do I think I can win the race in? Goldie. So I brought Goldie. It was just simple as that. You know, I thought that Goldie had a better shot at winning. I enjoy Goldie a little more driving it, whether it's on big, smalls, radials, anything. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm at home with that car. You know, we named that car, in honor of my dad, his car, tribute car. Little Goldie, that was my dad's car's name back in the 80s. And I don't know, it just his picture's on the dash, and every time I get in there, I just get the warm and fuzzy that he's hanging out riding with me. So that's the car I want to race.
No, that makes sense. And I know with that car too, because I was around a little bit whenever you were doing that car, but the boys over at Bad Habits obviously did the build there, Jeremy over there. And like you had a massive involvement right from the word go on that car, the way you sit in the car, the way the car was built, or pretty much the car was pretty much built around you in theory, right? Like there was a pretty detailed build whenever you did it. So
Jeremy is the only person that would do exactly what I wanted, and not to take any credit away from him because he done a fantastic job. But if I wanted the rear end to be here, if I wanted the four link to be there, if I wanted the motor places to be here, if I want the struts to be a certain height, this man knocked everything out to 1/8 of an inch of everything I asked him. I had a list of numbers, and I said, this is where I want it. This is what I've come up with over all the other cars. That car is just from all the R&D from all the other cars. We figured out what worked. And then we made it a little bit better. There's a few things Jeremy put his own twist on that I was worried about up front that actually worked great. But Jeremy built the car just how we wanted it and then put a little twist on it. Yeah.
Sorry.
So Jeremy put his own twist on it, you know, but he gave us the numbers we were looking for. And, you know, I went over to his shop and set up the suspension and stuff. And then we left his shop and went right to the racetrack. And then past one, we knew we had an animal. Past one. And
Right.
The car has just been a beast ever since.
Yeah, I remember at one point, I don't remember where we were. Maybe I was in Ohio with you or something like that. And you're saying that you didn't even want to touch the 4-link in the car. You guys have never made a change to it. And you're like, we don't want to mess with its juju. Like, this thing's just going perfect. That's pretty amazing.
So this is how little we've messed with the 4-link in that car. On big tires, it never got moved.
Right.
Through all the big tire racing, I never even removed the rear slicks.
Right.
Now, on small tires, we put a 4-link in it. We made one pass. It went right down, went my personal best first pass on 28s. And then we come back. I looked at the shock graph, and Craig and I talked, and we made one small 4-link change, and that's where it's at right now. Like, it's on radials, same thing. You know, the car just works. If you put something in it that's supposed to work, it responds.
Right. So, okay, Scott. So for me anyways, one of the last things I saw you do was World Series of Pro Mod, Winter Series, running small tire and stuff like that, which leads us to where we are now. You guys have come together, put together a pretty massive deal with the NHRA. Can you talk to us about Wright Trailers Outlaw Street?
Absolutely. First, thank you to Wright Trailers for standing behind us on this deal. Thank you for NHRA for believing in us. Thank you to Quick Performance, Iski Cams, and Pro Charger. Those guys, it wouldn't be possible without them for first. Secondly, you know, NHRA has given us an opportunity to bring our program to their stage, and we are beyond excited about it. These cars are going to absolutely fly. We're dual power adders, everything, anything you want to do, you can do. As long as it's got a steel roof and steel quarters, you can bring it, and that's what we're going to do. I'm telling you, it's going to be nasty. The scoreboards are going to be on. There's going to be times that raise some eyebrows, I promise.
Right. Absolutely. So is Little Goldie going back from a small tire to a big tire for this series?
Absolutely. Little Goldie is the only car I want to race in right now. So no matter what tire I'm on or what track y'all see me at, chances are it's going to be in Little Goldie. We're going to run the first race in Charlotte, ZMAX Dragway, April 24th. And then the following weekend will be, I think we'll be at Ryan's race, Outlaw Syndicate, back on small tires. So we're going to go back and forth with Goldie, and hopefully I can keep making those changes and it keeps working.
That's pretty awesome to hear. I know at one point on the schedule, it brings you guys up to Brainerd, Minnesota, which is about 5-6 hours from me. So maybe I can make it down and see you guys.
Oh, man, you better be there. I mean, I did this podcast for you and all. That seems like a fair trade.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, okay, so we got Outlaw Street. That's going to be a pretty exciting series. Who's all participating in that too? I think, is there 8 of you or 16 of you, or how many drivers is there?
There's 10 drivers.
10 drivers.
And all 10 drivers are going to qualify, and we're going to take the fastest 8.
Okay, cool. And I think I saw names like Chevy Reeves, Paige Coughlin. Did we see Clay Cole, or am I making that up?
Clay Cole, Ryan Martin, Sean Murder Chris Rankin.
Right. Yeah.
So Jerry Bird.
Yeah.
So just heavy hitters from start to finish.
Absolutely. That sounds pretty amazing.
Kyle Canyon.
Right. Yeah. And I'm assuming tickets are available online at the gate, wherever.
Absolutely. If y'all hadn't done it already, check us out, NHRA Outlaw Street, and the link is actually on that page. So if you can go to that race, please use our link. It'll have a special discount code for you there. Save you a little money, and also you get to be part of the Outlaw Club.
That sounds pretty amazing. I'll see if I can drop it on here too, just so that people can find it a little bit easier too.
That'd be awesome. Be like, check the link out right here.
Yeah, right here somewhere.
That's right. Look, just so that we know where you can put it anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the Wright Trailers Outlaw Street going down this year. Obviously, you've been participating in some of the Outlaw Syndicate stuff. What other events are on your calendar for this year? I believe you've got your golden ticket for King of the South. Is that an event you're going to try to make? One of the biggest small tire races for $75,000.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So last year we had something come up, wasn't able to make it. The year before that, we ended up having to film. This year, if I'm breathing, we're going to make it. So all roads lead to Shady Side, and that's where I want to be. So we're going to do everything within our power to get Goldie down there.
Absolutely. And I actually had the privilege of filming that event last year. Corey Stamper does such a good job with the event. And the video did very well on our channel. And honestly, one of my favorite races to date is King of the South. Like, I'm telling you right now, I've filmed everywhere. You know I film everywhere.
Oh,
but
yeah,
like,
for sure.
it's very, very rare to get a true 64 car small tire field. And they will have a true 64 car small tire field at Shadyside for King of the South 3.
Oh, yeah,
Pretty
absolutely.
wild.
I mean, Larry Larson,
Lyle Barnett,
yeah,
Brian, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing what those guys went through. And for Larry to win that thing, I mean, the finals with Lyle, I mean, that was just some good drag racing. You know, it was an amazing race. Corey, Shadyside, I really appreciate those guys giving me another shot. I've basically, I hate to use the word stood up, but I haven't made the last 2 races. And one of them was out of my control, and the second one was sort of out of control. But the first one, I had no choice whatsoever. But like I say, we're going to do everything we can do to get there to show them we appreciate getting the invite. And we want to come see if we can win that 75 grand.
Yeah. And I got to say, like, I've obviously been there. I don't know if you've been to Shadyside or not, but it is the coolest, one of the coolest places you'll ever see. There's literally a house on the road. It looks like it is. You're in a residential neighborhood. You drive past the house, and there's like this like ravine and valley that goes down, and there's just this drag strip in these guys' backyard. Like, it's insane. It is so cool.
It was one of the first appearances I had ever did with Shadyside, and me and Kai went there. And look, I had a John Doe was twin turbo at the time, and it was fast, but it broke a lot. The transmission kept breaking at the time. I had a power glide in it. Long story short, one time I went red, Kai won. We go back around. I'm like, so he's running best 2 out of 3 or whatever. And so Kai beats me. And then we go around the next time. And look, I'm green. I put a bunch in the delay box. I'm green. And I am like 2 or 3 cars out on Kai. And the transmission breaks. And he like right at the finish line, he like clipped me by like an inch or so. The crowd was so mad at me. They said, "This is rigged, just like the TV show. I know you gave it to him." They were mad at me. I said, "You don't understand the competitiveness between me and Kai. We would never give each other anything on a drag race." But people swore that I gave him that race, but we literally broke. Like I cranked it up and put it in gear and showed somebody it wouldn't move just so they would believe me.
Right. Yeah. No, it's pretty amazing. So, I mean, King of the South is definitely going to be a big draw this year, I would assume. The place will be packed. I know last year they had to shut the gate. They had to literally stop selling tickets. They couldn't let anyone in, you know. I would assume it's going to be the same thing again this year. So if you don't have your tickets already, you better get them. I don't know if they're selling them online, but if they are, you better get them.
For sure. It was fantastic. You know, even when we went back then, that was like 2014. And I still remember Heather telling me, so we was working on the car a little bit, and because I broke the transmission the week before. Well, anyway, I was right up at the shop on the top of the hill. And I was only gone for like an hour. I came back, and it was right when the event was just fixing to get started. And Heather told me, she said, "Look, I got good news and bad news." And I said, "What's the good news?" She's like, "I have sold every piece of merch that we have in the trailer. It's all gone." I said, "What's the bad news?" She's like, "They're all waiting on you." So I thought that was pretty amazing. I enjoyed meeting all those people. So it was pretty cool. But hey, I tell you, even as they shut the lights off at the track, I was still out there signing. It was, that's pretty awesome, you know, that those people wanted to see us. And that was in the heyday of the show, you know, so it was fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So another big race that I believe is going to be coming up here in a little bit. I actually was I had the opportunity to film at this track not too long ago. Was in Abilene, West Texas Raceway. I was at an event called War Out West, and it was pretty wild. And I believe they've announced $150,000 prize pool for small tire. Has that event caught your eye at all? I believe it's going to be called Freedom of War, July 3rd and 4th or something like that, I believe. Do you have any interest in something like that? Has that caught your eye at all?
I'll have to look and see. I think that may be the one we sent the deposit for already.
Okay. So just so you know, Scott, I was there, okay, for their event War Out West, right? And they scraped this track. I'm telling you, it is the slickest surface I have ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It was the worst surface I've ever seen. So you should probably watch my video on it.
I like it.
But what type of things would you do to a car to try to get it down a tricky surface like that?
Man, you can't give all your secrets away.
Well, we need some. We just need one. Just give us some.
Just one. You move some weight around.
Move some weight around. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty basic, you know?
Okay.
It's all about numbers. It's all about suspension, you know. So suspension moves, weight moves, power management. You know, I think that's one thing from us racing on the street and stuff like that. That's one thing I feel helped us out. Like even in pro mod, like the other day, the last race, round one was super hot. And you watch Kai Kelly, man. He goes out there and pedals a few times, picks up a win. Sean pedals a few times, picks up a win. Even a small tire, I've pedaled a few times, picked up a win. I heard him on the PA as I was rolling to a stop, talking about top fuel in the middle, you know. But the no prep tracks and the streets, they teach you how to drive for sure.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so moving along here, Mr. Scott Scooter Taylor has owned a lot of cars in his lifetime. Out of everything you've owned, if you had to pick a favorite, which one would it be?
You know, I mean, John Doe got me the lucky break. I didn't even like John Doe when I got it. It was the only thing that fit the build that I had to buy it in a week, like I was telling you before. But little Goldie, man, little Goldie's tough. Like it's definitely my favorite car. What's bad is I would sell Goldie before I would sell John Doe, but Goldie is my favorite.
That's a weird answer, Scott.
I'm just telling you, man, it's weird. How do you get rid of the car that got you a shot? You know what I'm saying? Like
you can't.
You can't. And
I hear you.
So I hope I never have to sell Goldie or John Doe.
That's fair. That's fair. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. So, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got another question for you then. Following up with this, let's run with it. So radial, big tire, or small tire, pick one and ride. What's the favorite?
Like forever? Like,
yeah, like, you know, like what's your fave? If you're like, I want to go racing and this is what I want to do and I don't want to do anything else, this is the one. What's it going to be?
28-10-5 Select.
I figured that was the answer. How could it not be? You're like the king of 28.
I don't know about that, man. There's some fast guys out there, but we hold our own, I guess.
You for sure hold your own. There's literally no denying it. You're one of the most feared names when it comes to small tire racing. Like you've won some of the biggest races there's ever been. And okay, so here's my next question for you. In your opinion, what does it take to run at the front of the pack in small tire?
ET wise or equipment wise?
Let's say equipment wise. What do you think it takes to run at the front of the pack? If you want to go compete in small tire in 2026, what do you think you need to bring to the table?
Depends on the surface also, you know. So that brings up a good point. Everybody is whining about the times got shown, and that's what's hurting the car count. I personally disagree. I think what's hurting the car count is prep racetracks. So I like it. Seems to be a little safer. You know, I have no issue racing on prep, no prep, scraped. It doesn't matter. I race on all of them. But what I see is the cars are so much more consistent on prep tracks.
Right.
It gives the guy that necessarily don't have the right equipment no shot. So I feel like that's what people are starting to see. You know, it's a prep surface. They're going to run good, and I have no shot at going. So I think if you put that back on no prep, I think you see car count pick back up a little bit. That's just my personal opinion. Don't mean it's right. Don't mean it's wrong. But I think prep racetrack has really sped things up. Equipment-wise, on no prep, I mean, you got a shot with a big block Chevrolet and a Pro Charger on no prep all day long, easily. I've seen some LSs kicking butt on no prep. But the moment they put the prep down, if you don't have a Hemi or a pair of 98 millimeter turbos or the biggest Pro Charger they offer or a screw blower, I mean, it's going to be tough. That's the equipment that's required to race on prep, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that's very, very fair, Scott. Like, I'll give you an example back to like that race I just did at West Texas, as you said. Like I'm talking no prep. Like, I mean, like literally scraped, smooth surface. Like it was almost like a skating rink. It was that slippery. But
Yep.
I heard some of the times coming around from the first round of small. Okay, I think I'm back. I'm back. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now, can't you? Can you hear me now? Scott? Scott? It says it's working. Can you not hear me? Can you hear me now? Can't hear you.
I'm just joking.
I saw it working. I was like, you're such a liar. Like, you got to be able to
He's
do
like,
it.
I know it's working. He's just like, the door was open. I had to take it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Anyways, okay. So what I was saying is when we were at West Texas, that track there, they scraped that thing right down. Like, I mean, it was smooth, like how scraped down it was. I kid you not. If I would have had a tune in my Volkswagen Jetta, I probably could have won a round in small tire at the first round there. The guys were literally running 7 and 8 second 8th mile times. And there was, you know, your Proline pro-charged Hemi cars there and stuff like that. It didn't matter what you had. Literally an all-wheel drive Audi would have beat you, you know, like
For sure.
you would have been dead in the water in round one.
That just backs up what I'm saying about the no prep, makes everybody a competitor. That's what's so great about no prep. You know, I hate to see no prep fading, and it is. No prep's fading a little bit right now. But that's one reason why I hate to see it fade, is because it gave everybody a place to race. It didn't matter what equipment you had. It matters what you knew about your car, what you can do with it. You know, it mattered what you could do with your hands. On prep, man, you got to have best of the best of the best, and you still have to be good to win those events. But it takes a little bit of fun out of it, you know, for everybody having a shot at it. That's when it's fun.
Right. Okay. I got another question for you. I know you're not going to answer it, but I'm going to try to get an answer out of you anyways. So,
Boy,
let's say someone is new to the sport of drag racing, specifically small tire racing. And what is one tuning tip you could leave with them to help them get down the track better? I'm not asking you to give away the farm here either, but what's something that you think that maybe somebody might not know that wouldn't give away the farm that might help somebody out?
On no prep. You say no prep.
Sure, no prep.
Okay. All right. On no prep, I would say, you know, start on the looser side with a torque converter and work your way back tight, you know. So the looser it is, the easier it is to get down the racetrack.
Okay, that works for me. I can accept that. I appreciate it.
It's simple. It's simple to the point. It's not a trade secret by any means, but a lot of people try to start too tight, and it really makes it tough to get down the track.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so we're getting close to wrapping things up here, Scott. I promise you. I'm almost done with you, okay? But next question for you. When you're not racing, what are you up to?
Currently working nonstop and then building a house. But what Scott likes to do, I like to go fishing. I like to go hunting. I like to spend time with the family. My kids are at the age right now that they're almost grown. Like, I mean, they're 15 years old. They seem, you know, size-wise grown, but they still love to spend time with me and their mom. So we're having a good time with that right now. That's the good thing about the show sort of coming to an end for a little while, is that I'm getting to utilize some really good window time to spend with my kids.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear, man. I mean, family's important, right?
Absolutely.
It's like me. I'm trapped in Canada now for who knows how long. I got to spend time with my family.
That's right.
I got to podcast with Scott. You know, I'm sitting in my basement. So
well, tell the wife I said hello.
I'll tell Sam you said hi. Tell HT I said hi. Okay. So aside from all that, Right Trailers has, I feel like, been taking up a bunch of your life as well. Okay. So if people don't know, you better know by now that Scott is a Right Trailers dealer in Petal, Mississippi, or Hattiesburg. Is it Hattiesburg or Petal?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Yep.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He lives in
I live in
They're
Petal,
side by side.
They are.
But anyways,
I can see Petal.
There you go. So you sell every type of trailer pretty much known to man. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Whether you need a new motorhome, a used motorhome, a lift gate, a stacker, a lawnmower trailer, a utility trailer, whatever you need, we can definitely hook you up with the right trailer at the right price. I started this deal with Mike. Mike's the founder of Right Trailers about 3.5 years ago now, maybe 4 years ago. And we've been a great fit, and it has occupied a lot of my time. It is more than I ever thought it would be, honestly. Like, I figured we'd sell a few trailers here or there, but it's really grown. The dealership has grown, and our customer base has grown, and it's been fantastic. Selling the motorhomes has really been a step in the right direction for us. So that and lift gates, it sort of fits what I do with the racing. So if anybody's in the market for a new coach or trailer or anything that we listed, give me a call, 601-520-2095. Not only do we sell trailers, we race. We know how to use the trailer, and we know what trailer you need to make your program successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Scott said, it's not just a race trailer. It's not just a lift gate. You know, you need a utility trailer. Everything from $3,000 to your $700,000
Absolutely.
toter, they sell it all. So
anything in between.
yeah, absolutely. So guys, as well, I want to elaborate one step further just because Scott's a homie of mine. If you're checking out that Right Trailers website, even if it's not in stock at that Hattiesburg location, if it's in at their Wisconsin location or the Lakeland, Florida location or any location, Scott Scooter Taylor can get you that trailer. So make sure to reach out to him. And yes, that's his cell number. Don't bug him too much, but that is his phone number. Okay. I'll attest to that. So
absolutely, man. And we do a lot of stuff, and I couldn't do it without the support from our fans. We've been very blessed. One takeaway from the show is a lot of people have bought trailers from us, and it's gave us an opportunity to be in front of those people. But we sell Burmax scooters, batteries, full spectrum batteries, trailers, pro chargers, you name it. If you guys are needing something, y'all call that cell number and I'll personally hook you up. You get 24/7 customer service when you buy through us.
That's pretty amazing. And what if they were to say, hey, we saw this on that track channel. Are you gonna kick Gary some money back, Scott? Come on.
I tell y'all what, guys, if y'all say you saw this on the track channel, I'm going to personally hook Gary up with some cash for every transaction.
So, guys, if you are watching this, tell them code TTC. Okay, that's Scott and mine's little code.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get me some money. Maybe they'll get me back into America one day. Who knows?
Code TTC helps me and it helps Gary. I promise.
There you go. So if you're watching this, that track channel, you tell Scott Scooter Taylor. You heard it here first. So,
and we ship nationwide.
There you go, nationwide. There you go. So,
just not to Canada.
Not to Canada. That's fair.
I can't even get my homie back from Canada.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly, right? I get it. Okay, so aside from that, we've talked about Street Outlaws. We've talked about every car you've owned, all the race stuff. We've talked about the work and stuff like that. And the most exciting piece for you now, I would imagine, is this last piece that's all coming together right now. You guys have been building your dream home in Petal, Mississippi. How's that coming along, Scott?
It's coming along great, man. I'm excited. I think we're about 3 months from move-in day. So right now, currently today, we had the masonry guy there, the bricklayer, the electrician, the plumber, and a framer making a few small changes to a staircase. It's going fast right now. I'm sure it's going to slow down at some point, but we have a little bit of everybody out there working right now. So it's going fast, and seeing those changes every day when I come home from work, it gives us something to look forward to, and it's a forever home for sure. Yeah.
I've been obviously watching some of the pictures and stuff like that, and with the lake and everything there, and obviously you got your dream shop being built out there. It looks special, man. It looks absolutely amazing. I'm very proud of you and what you've accomplished, and you've just been crushing it, dude. And you're such a genuine person. You genuinely deserve it. So I'm super happy for you and all your success, and hopefully one day I'll be successful like that too.
Oh, you will. You already are, man. I appreciate the kind words, but and we've worked super hard for it. But like I say, you're very successful, and I'm just happy to call you a friend.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, sir. And with that, I think that pretty much wraps everything up for today for our first ever podcast. So, Scott Scooter Taylor, huge thank you for coming on board, chatting with us. For everyone watching, please like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, if you need a trailer, you know who to call. That guy right there. He's right next door. You're right here, So make sure to call Scott Scooter Taylor if you need anything. But my homie, thank you so much for being my first ever podcast.
Thank you. I know it's going to be huge for you. Happy to be part of the first show.